and welcome our beloved viewers to RTD's News English edition. As usual, we begin tonight's news with the major and top highlights. Let's follow. The Ministry of Health participates in the 75th World Health Assembly in Geneva. And on the international scene, the number of cases will increase in the world, predicts WHO. The very dull of the monkey. Those were our major top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, sent this Sunday a congratulatory message to his Yemeni counterpart, Mr. Rashad Al Almi, whose country commemorates today the anniversary of its National Day. In his telegram, President Guelleh first wished success to Mr. Rashad, forming the hope of a rapid settlement of the political crisis that has prevailed for several years in the sister country. He then expressed the hope that the sister nation will return to the cohesion and unity essential to the serene apprehension of its essential objectives, including peace, stability, and development. The Republic of Djibouti is all the more willing to work for the national reconciliation of this brotherly country, as it's fundamentally attached to the principle of a united Yemen. The head of state also noted in the same document, before reiterating his best wishes to the President and the entire brotherly Yemeni people. This decree authorizes the revision of the electoral rolls during the period from April 28 to September 30, 2022. Citizens of both sexes aged over 18 years and enjoying civil and political rights may apply for registration on the electoral roll of the place of residence, provided that they meet the conditions set forth in Article 5 of the Organic Law Number 1 of October 29, 1992 on elections. Persons who have charged their residence may request the transfer of their registration to the electoral roll of their new residence. This request must be accompanied by the necessary supporting documents, in particular, a certificate of residence issued by the prefecture of their place of residence. Deceased persons are removed from the electoral roll. The Department of Elections of the Ministry of Interior is required on an optional basis to proceed within the control of the electoral lists from October 1st to December 31, in accordance with Article 4 of Decree number 2016/19/PR MI of January 21, 2016, establishing the modalities of establishment of the electoral list. Moving on, a strong Djiboutian delegation led by Dr. Ahmed Roble, Ministry of Health, participates in the 75th World Health Assembly to be held from 22 to 28 May 2022 in Geneva. It is during this same assembly that our country, the Republic of Djibouti, is candidate for the presidency of the World Health Assembly for a term of 1 year. On the silence of this assembly, the minister attended yesterday, Saturday, the meeting of Ministers of Health of the African Union organized by the African Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. During his speech, Dr. Ahmed Roble praised Djibouti's new strategy for combining COVID and routine immunization in remote areas through mobile systems and teams. This approach will address the decline in immunization coverage of children since COVID-19 epidemic, he added. In closing, the minister thanked the CDC of Africa for its support in all efforts to eradicate the COVID pandemic since its advent. In his speech, the Minister of Health thanked the CDC for their support in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. As part of the policy of the Secretary of State for Sports, which consists in valuing and rewarding commendable individuals, the Secretary for State for Sports, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamil, received this morning in his office the presidents of two associations in the region of Ali Sabeh. Both associations are very active in the region. They had sports and social educational activities. Today, they have just been awarded a new prize that cortices their action and investments undertaking in the field of sports. Satisfied with their performance, the number one of the department promised to support them in their respective missions before awarding them certification of recognition. The movement of the United and Indivisible Youth organized this morning, May 21, at the Hotel Accessia, a conference of awareness and information on the theme, the Djiboutian youth facing the challenge of incivilities and insolabilities for a clean Djibouti and without waste. It should be noted that the general objective of this conference is to strengthen the commitment of young people by reinforcing the actions of fight against incivility for a clean Djibouti so that they can be ambassadors to overcome this problem that is rampant in our country. This conference debate saw the participation of more than 60 participants. Several personalities also took part in this conference, including the Mayor of Djibouti, Mr. Saeed Dawood, as well as the President of the Commune of Bil'Aus, Mr. Abdul Qadir Iman, Ras Dika, Mr. Ibrahim Saeed, the Vice President of the Commune of Ras Dika. At the end of the constructive exchange, it appeared that a surge of civic mindedness is necessary by developing a synergy of actions between the elected officials, the youth, and the organizations of the society to fight jointly against the uncivil behaviors for the eradication of insalubrity in all the domains, in all the spheres. The ceremony was closed by a family photo. In his speech, the mayor of Djibouti welcomed the initiative of the youth movement, one and individual, while encouraging the youth and civil society to strengthen their civic commitment in the fight against the incivilities through their action and commitment. During the day of Thursday, May 19, 2022, a ceremony of official handing over of diplomas marking the end of training entitled Training on the Chief of the Aggregate took place at the National Directorate of Civil Protection and was provided by French instructors of the Marine Brigade of Marseille. It is in this presence of the National Director of Civil Protection, Colonel Mahmoud Musa Mahmoud, Corps Commander of the Fire Brigade, and attached of the Interior Security to the French Ambassador to Djibouti that the ceremony began. In addition, this training was a success and will allow these new chiefs to know their function on the operations as a first responder in the chain of fire rescue operations. The ceremony ended with the official handing over of the diplomas to the trainees and the family photo to immortalize this event. The Director General of the CFEEF, Mrs. Aisha Farah Al-Tira, accompanied by the Director of Training, Mr. Awali Abdul Qadir Hirsi, attended a training of trainees on the evolution of learning in the partnership with the AUF under the program Learning, which took place from 15 to 19 May 2022 and was provided by an expert of the University Agency for the Francophone, in this case Dr. Ibrahim, and the national expert, Mr. Abdullahi. This training is attended by about 30 people, including trainees of the CFEEF and educational advisors of the General Inspection. Finally, the ceremony ended with the delivery of certificates of participation to the beneficiaries of the training of trainees and the traditional family photo. As in previous years, the exemplary school Al Irshad organized yesterday morning at the People Palace a ceremony dedicated to the closure of the activities of the academic year 2021-2022 and the farewell to the 28th class of students of class of senior, which was called the Class of Excellence. The event was attended by the school's director, Mrs. Halima Muhammad Uthman, representative of the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, directors of Arab private schools in Djibouti, as well as dozens of parents and students. The occasion including artistic segments, poems, and songs, in addition to short play embodying the importance of science and learning and awarding brilliant students in scientific research in various fields. The representatives of the graduating class expressed their great joy at completing their high school studies and expressed their thanks and appreciation to the school's principal, Mrs. Halima Muhammad Uthman, as well as the teachers and parents who spared no efforts to enable them to reach this level successfully. The students are committed to continue their academic career in order to contribute in the near future to the development process that our country is experiencing under the leadership of the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh. A master class dedicated to young script writers and directors of Djibouti was held in the premises of the Directorate of Cinematography as part of the 24th edition of the International Festival of Very Short Film. This workshop had in fact focused on the realization of a script and the establishment of a framework of a script. Another challenge was to teach them how to express themselves in public in order to be able to pitch a script, an essential step in convincing a future producer to free their speech and push them to be themselves in the entertainment industry. The Japanese Agency for International Cooperation, which is also known as in short JICA, organized yesterday morning at Fukuwaza Middle School an important clean-up operation in which elements of the Japanese Self-Defense Force based in Djibouti, headed by Colonel Kuwahara, took part, as well as the national education officials, local elected officials, and the parents and students of the school. Firstly, JICA presented to the numerous participants, notably the Secretary General of MEFA, Mr. Mohammed Abdullah Mayub, the Director of Education, Mr. Abdi Dirir, as well as the Vice President of the Municipality of Bilbala, the Deputy Director of the Office of Roads, which is led by the government of Japan and co-organized by the Commission of the African Union, the World Bank, and the United Nations. All the participants took part in an important cleaning operation in which the agents and machines of the Djibouti Road Office took part. The sub-prefect of the second district held today a meeting to raise awareness for the ownership and beautification of the district fifth of the commune of Bul'os. This meeting was attended by the vice president of the commune of Bul'os, Ali Adawi, the head of district 5 of the commune of Bul'os, the Ukal, and the associations of the district. Given the role, the district councils are the closest agents of citizens to play a leading role in raising awareness and bringing citizens together with a common goal of a beautification of the city of Djibouti. The sub-prefect of the second district invited the council of the district 5 to take care of the beautification of the district, and all those who will offend the law will be severely punished by the regulation in force. In the continuity against the actions in the fight against human trafficking during the night of 20 to 21 May 2022, a joint cooperation of the Djiboutian Coast Guard and the National Navy teams assisted a Yemeni Galba boat carrying illegal migrants which was heading towards Yemen. The boat that was intercepted was carrying 134 Ethiopian migrants, including 1 child, 26 women, and 107 men. The migrants were safely taken to Djibouti, where they were given humanitarian assistance in the form of food and water before being transferred to the relevant authorities for reparative to their country of origin. The Yemeni smugglers were arrested as part of the operation and will be brought to justice to answer for their actions, while the boat was seized pending a court decision. This cooperation testifies to the excellent cooperation and collaboration between the Djiboutian Coast Guard and the National Navy, which jointly ensured to do everything possible to secure the Djiboutian maritime domain. Shifting our focus now to international scenes, the World Health Organization expects new case of monkeypox to be identified around the world, as the agency monitors the emergence of the disease in countries where it does not usually spread. According to WHO, there are about 92 confirmed cases worldwide and another 28 suspected cases outside Africa. France, Germany, Belgium, and Australia reported their first cases Friday. Well, by this, our beloved viewers, we conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you again. Take care.